Yay, I'm somewhat famous for some reason. But in all seriousness, guys, you're the greatest. I honestly couldn't have made this far without you. And now that I know that Patreon actually works, I get to review a big fan project about Sailor Moon. More specifically, the Moon Animate Makeup Project. A project where Brawl in the Family's final arc's major problem is the norm. Moon Animate Makeup is what happens when you attempt to get Liquid Television to tell a concurrent story. But does it fulfill the fandom's daily dose of evening love by daylight and fighting evil by moonlight? Or is it something that should be sent to the Negaverse, to be sealed away in eternal sleep? Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the WAP, time to riot loose with a fandom arson of Moon Animate Makeup, the fan-made Sailor Moon episode made by fans for the fans. Belts up, gang. We're about to land.
Now that's the best sounding elevator music I ever heard. We start off, fittingly enough, with the guy animating the moonlit sky. Cue the Sailor Scouts drilling Sailor Moon on protecting the Imperium's silver crystal, and of course, improving her combat skills. This gets the attention of one of the Negaverse's spies, who then reports back to Malachite, the sole surviving general of Queen Beryl's forces, as the other three have died earlier in the show. Yeah, it's pretty obvious why Mr. Enter doesn't do anime all that much. But look on the bright side, at least we have them on the panel. Meow, that's right, we have Jedi, who was recently spared by the adaptation by Sailor Moon Crystal. And also Nephrite, who we have yet to see die by the time I finish this review. That's right, I did this review in advance. And the totally male Zoicide was not invited, was the end of that sentence.
Come on, you goddamn weeaboos, don't complain. We all know which Zoicide you grew up with, and that be me!
Beryl and company believe that it's the Sailor Scouts breaking up, when clearly that ain't the case. Which means that it's up to Ninjana to spy on them. So she goes with Plan Molly. And what is Plan Molly?
How are you? No one you want to mess with. Molly, call the police! Nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah, she pretty much exists to be captured. Sailor Moon tries to bust Ninjana, but then...
Sailor Moon, could we please have a word with you?
That's disturbing.
Get used to the squick, folks. Plenty of wise guys manage to get their animations in. And dear lord are those few seconds hard to sit through. And as the Sailor Scouts bicker amongst themselves, these Fab 5 heroes get a visit from Yellow Journalism. Oh, what a delight!
Wow, what a scoop. The Sailor Scouts squabbling like a bunch of seagulls. This'll make the front page for sure!
Well, at least we know who's the boss. This roving reporter, Nancy Vargas of the Daily Surprise, is pretty much digging the Sailor Scouts deeper, adding fuel to the proverbial fire that lies within the Negaverse. The other Sailor Scouts refuse to comment, and we cut to the next day.
Tell you something scarier. The Sailor Scouts are talking about splitting up. Oh, for real? No, you must have got it wrong. Now, why would they want to split up when they've got such a totally cool leader like Sailor Moon? She's spacey. Spacey?
Yes, Serena. Spacey. As in, fucking stupid. You are made of stupid. That is the point your friend is unknowingly getting across.
And it's for that reason, among others, is why I believe Naoko Takeuchi is the Stephanie Meyer of Japanese animation. Maybe I can tear apart the rest of the show someday. Nancy decides to bug Serena and Molly for some deets on the sitch with the Sailor Scouts, but to no avail. Got to keep the secret hidden like the cancerous plot tumor that it is. Yuck! I mean, honestly, I really got to rip this show apart one of these days. Fast forward to another training drill, and once again Sailor Moon is complaining about having to battle her way through the Negaverse. La-dee-fucking-da.
Why don't you try this, Mars?
Hey, this is your gig, girlfriend. But every time you eat a little dirt, you just want to call the whole thing off. And then you wonder why we don't respect you.
Well, maybe this isn't such a good idea, but there's gotta be another way to find the entrance to the Negaverse that doesn't turn me totally black and blue.
Well, the least you can do is try to pick up martial arts. There's even a crossover webcomic that recommends that she do it too. A crossover webcomic.
You're an idiot!
We find that the Daily Surprise has gotten a lot of unwanted buzz brewing about the Sailor Scouts, especially when Nancy here is usually digging up dirt on big political debates and major election years. Whatever keeps food on her table is fine with me. Serena musters up the courage to lure Nancy over to the national park with an exclusive interview with Sailor Moon, and she reluctantly agrees after a bullet dodge aimed at the secret identity. Gods, it feels so dirty just saying it.
How did you end up with this? You know Sailor Moon?
No, my friend Molly found it after the burglary, but she's way too shy to bring it.
Hi, did I mention that this trope is a cancer to imagination and needs to die? The derping hour arrives and Sailor Moon is predictably caught off guard by notorious Negaverse super spy Ninjana, the burglar we saw earlier in the episode. See, the Negaverse set up this assignment for Nancy to stir up conflict between the Sailor Scouts because Sailor Moon's not too bright, so of course they would. Malachite dangles the metaphorical keys over the Sailor Soldier and offers up Tuxedo Mask in exchange for a one-way trip to the Negaverse. Yeah, Tuxedo Mask, the token male on the team, he's been incapacitated for the last row of episodes in this initial season, and he's not going to come back until the finale. Which is not this episode.
We're not even sure how much longer he's gonna last. That last battle really took it out of him.
She agrees to give up the Imperium Silver Crystal on the condition that she reunites with Tuxedo Mask. She rightfully says no sail upon learning he's unable to come to her, but Malachite offers her a way for her to come to him.
Queen Beryl will give you anything you want. What do you say?
Kinda creepy, isn't it?
She begins to wise up and Ninjana reacts accordingly. Sailor Moon is predictably rescued by her team, Sailor Moon predictably reduces Ninjana to moon dust, and Nancy Vargas presumably receives an overtime paycheck for catching a scoop related to the city's equivalent of Spider-Man. Do you see why animators without a structured art style is a bad idea for a television show? Not to knock the animators down a peg, but the consistency in animation and the familiar musk of 90s cheese is what kept us from noticing the absolute schlong that was the creative talents of Naoko Takeuchi. I.e., absolutely nothing! They just found the Sailor Fuku with ridiculously small miniskirts, which in my humble opinion requires pants to pull off because decency, and then picked it up for 200 episodes of animation. This all but adds fuel to the fire that these feminazis have against Japan, and the fact that Toonmakers tried to make a better version but instead got ripped off by Sailor Stars, the absolute worst season in the franchise until Sailor Moon Crystal came along, just proved how the 90s was where everyone's standard for entertainment went downhill worldwide.
Daily Surprise. Heard a rumor the Scouts might be splitting up. Any truth to it? Huh?
Sorry, no comment.
I'm at Comic-Con!
Flash. Cloverway, representing the best in Japanese animation.
One of those things is not like the others.
Really? You had to bring up that licensing nightmare?
Like that even matters. They didn't even make it to stars. That's the season with the gender swapping. Fun, 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 fun!
And speaking of gender swaps, I still remember the licensing disaster whence you came to steal the one you dare to call Malachite away from me, you insolent little harlot!
Ah, put a cork in it, will you, Kensei?